No, no, that's good.
Okay, so
Okay.
explain to me what you're talking about now.
Okay. First of all, I had communicated with Vicky early on about the time that we were supposed to have the meeting and being on track. And that's when I went back into um, our calendar and
Hmm.
realized that August the 22nd, which is the day, is putting us back on track as far as our meetings, our leadership meetings. So that's why I was anxious about doing this. And she was indicating to me that sometimes she can get on and sometimes she cannot.
Hmm.
So I'm not really sure whether I need to text her again, but to remind her, or whether I need to call her to remind her. But she and I did discuss about being available for the meeting today. Okay.
Okay.
So that's where that is. Do I need to call her? Do I need to text her or what?
Um, I know you sent the text out to everybody, so everybody should have gotten it.
Okay. All right. So that's that. The other thing
So,
that I was
mhm.
talking about was the fact that I attended the last cohort meeting.
Okay.
During that cohort meeting, of course, they have about 5 faculty members that attend, Dr. Rutner, Dr. Winters, uh, Dr. Carter, Jessie
Hmm.
Carter. She is very good. I think I mentioned that to her. She's
Hmm.
new and she's working on her second doctoral degree.
Hmm.
And and who else? It's one of the Dr. Oh gosh, what's her name? Anyway, she's in Russia right now, so she's
Hmm.
not in daily attendance, but she did pop on the the prior meeting. But the bottom line wanted to share was that Linda Miller, which of course Russell you are totally familiar with as well as I am, and Carlton said he can kind of. She has this group. Her group is called the Dream. Is it Dream Makers, Russell?
Dream catchers.
Dream something.
Dream catchers.
Dream catching. Uh-huh. And so during the last cohort meeting, she was emphasizing that the dream catchers was the group that's out here that's available, knowing that our group is also available.
Hmm.
Now I thought about say and of course people were giving her accolades for being, but she does have a group. She has a pretty strong verbal group of people in the dream catchers that are continuously involved in the core heart group.
Yeah.
I attend the core heart group, but there's nobody else from our group. That there's Vicky that attends on a regular basis.
Okay.
But she emphasized during the last cohort group that the dream catchers was out there, that
Hmm.
they were, I forgot how many times she said they were available and that they offered this, and of course other people were giving her accolades, which of course is no problem. And they all, I'm sure, are aware that our group also exists.
Okay.
I could have said something, and maybe I should have, but I didn't think it was necessary because they all are aware of the group. I didn't think we really need to advertise it per se. My thing is that at this point, since we are working on expectations, we have had people, and people are continuously writing in and saying that they want to be a part of the group, that
Hmm.
we now really push to get these expectations for level one leadership and level two leadership in a position special, out there, offering people who can meet those needs to become a part of level one or level two. Because we have had some good people. And I think a person like Miss Reed, you remember Miss Reed, right? From the last, she's the one that's going to do the school.
I do
Do
not
you
remember her.
remember?
I do not remember her.
Okay, well, Miss, okay, well, Miss Reed is. And she's been on this one and she's been on the other one with me. But anyway,
Her first name is Linda.
Linda Reed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Linda Reed. And so people like Linda Reed. And there was another lady said that came on and said, I'm willing to help in any way possible. Well, those are the kind of people I think at this point, since we are in such a good position and we're working on these expectations, that we go ahead, move forward in completing these expectations at level 1 and 2, and get these people involved. Because right now it's only 5 of us, and we
Mm-hmm.
don't need to necessarily 5 of us carry this load by ourselves. But because there are people out there really willing to work with us, like Dr. Singh. I don't particularly think Dr. Singh's sister, she would be more likely to work with Linda. But there have been other people that we have, and like I said, that are still writing, still communicating with us about being a part.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to go ahead and try to work to move forward in getting people, and it doesn't have to be a lot, but at least move forward to try to get other ideas. Because we've been carrying this, how would you say, amazingly and exceptionally for the last 6 years, just our
Mm-hmm.
group. And we have done an outstanding job, and they do know we exist. But I'm thinking right now we are at a point where we do need to open it up and try to recruit other people to work with us.
Mm-hmm.
So what you thinking?
I mean, well, I thought we'd already come to that conclusion way back when.
Okay, but we haven't moved on it. That's the problem.
Okay, so
We're still at we're hmm?
I think what I'm hearing is we have decided that that's what needs to be done, and now your concern is that there has been no movement
Yeah,
towards getting it
that's
done.
my concern.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
I
it's
agree with that.
okay. So then at Carlton, Vicky, please give your input. And with Russell recording this, then what's her name? Rochelle would then be able to hear on what we're saying. So Vicky and Carlton, do you have anything to say? Where's Carlton? Vicky?
No, I agree with you, Gwen. Like you said earlier, everything is in place. We just got to push it. And
So I think the question that we really need to ask is, what is the next step?
exactly,
We're saying
exactly.
we need to do something, but I think we have to lay out what it is we need to do.
Okay, well, we should have. We know what we're supposed to do. We were all supposed to come to this meeting today,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a previous meeting, and we were supposed to have a discussion about what is considered the expectations of anyone joining the leadership group,
Mm-hmm.
and the level 2 leadership. Because I think now we have decided that there are 2 levels.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
No,
Am I wrong?
you're accurate. You're accurate.
Okay.
So the
So that
question.
is where we were. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
No, I
baby.
was just gonna say, based on that statement, the question is, is everyone in the room prepared to discuss that?
And I think the answer is no.
So,
and
so
and
you
go
are
ahead.
correct, Gwen. This is typically what ends up being the problem. We assign homework, we assign things that need to be done so that when we get to the meeting can flow. But when we get
Yes.
to the meeting, there's no flow because
Right.
the assignment that needs to be done. Um,
Right.
so even if we were supposed to be doing something, right, this would have been the
Right.
time for us to start hearing ideas as to what is it that we need to be doing as a group. What are we asking people at level 2 to do for us so that we can
Right.
identify people who are the right fit? So this is the ideas
Right.
that we should be getting now. What do we need as a group?
Well, um, we were talking about persons in the leadership one. I think Rochelle, I don't know if she has it written down because Rochelle has an excellent, how would you say, outline or visual demonstration, a visual slide
Mm-hmm.
of the various things that we would probably be looking for in persons in our leadership group.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm thinking that that's what we um, would probably, and I think we also identified by the level 2, but I don't know who has that information. I know I don't have it written down
Okay,
anywhere.
so I'll just give you my
Okay.
recollection of our
Okay.
last conversation. Right?
Okay.
Our last conversation
Mm-hmm.
that we had the conversation and we said we will not be adding anyone to the leadership group moving forward. We would be working on adding people to level 2, and we needed
Okay.
to discuss what do we need to be doing at the level 2. That is where we were left off.
Okay.
We were supposed to be going away to talk about the things that we need to be asking people to do for us at the level 2. And then once we have
Okay.
people that are functioning well at level 2, and
Mm-hmm.
then we have a need to add someone to the level 3, I mean to the level 1, then we would
Mm-hmm.
invite someone from level 2 to level 1. But the level 1 is not somewhere we were going to be focused on right now. We needed to be focused on what we needed to do and what are we asking people to come in to help us with. And anybody we're inviting to come in, they will be invited to come in at the level 2. That was my last
Okay.
recollection.
Okay. Now my thing is, and because when uh Rochelle, I
Mm-hmm.
think we discussed something about level 2
Mm-hmm.
because Carlton said, I'll be fine at level 2 because of the fact that I have other obligations right now
Correct.
as far as his job and stuff. I
Correct.
think Vicky also said because of school,
Mm-hmm.
she would then consider level 2.
Correct.
Well, at the leadership at this point, then we'll just leave the three of us. Do you think three of us at the leadership would be enough?
For right now, yes. But we want to
Okay.
focus on, there's leadership decisions as to where we're going, what's the vision, that type of stuff. So yes, um,
Okay. Okay.
but the focus really is on what are the people on level 2, what are they needing, what are we needing people to do.
Okay. Well,
I'm just gonna throw out an example, just an
mm-hmm,
example. We need
mm-hmm,
someone who can write, and that person can write articles so that we can get our marketing to send things like to the GCU online. So every Monday or every month or whatever the interval is, we have some type of article highlighting the things that we're doing. So that would be an example of what we would need someone at the level 2 to do.
okay.
What other examples would we need at the level 2. That's what we're supposed to be discussing. That's the actual activity that we need to focus on based on what I just heard you say.
Okay, that sounds good.
So I just have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to the level 2 people, thinking about our dissertations, we have the primary topic, which is level 2. What are the subtopics? What are the sub themes that we need help with in level 2 that we need to be discussing right now?
Yeah, that's what we were supposed. Everybody was supposed to bring
Yeah,
ideas back to this meeting today.
yeah.
So the only thing I can think of is when we're in sessions, in homework study session,
Mm-hmm.
we have selected people that can take people off into a room and discuss some individual things that they're dealing with. The other issue is I'm not sure if we have it set up where we have someone that can send these people off into other rooms, even though we may have people that can take them into other rooms. That was like one of those caveats of if we opt for people to be a part of level 2, then who's going to be, managing that part to send them off into other rooms.
Okay, that
The other
particular.
thing was not just, because when I come on there sometimes there's just so much discussion. I'm like, I want y'all to just send me off into a room so I can just study.
Well, see that I think, Vicky, that's interesting because I think we have not made it. Me personally, feel that we have not made it clear as to what Monday consists of. We say it, but we have not made it clear. And I think it's maybe because at the beginning of the session on Mondays, we have not clarified, and I think we might have to keep doing it, that those persons who feel like they just need a space to just go ahead and work, that we have, because it was set up where we would say you have this amount of time. At interval, I think at the hour, we would say we're going into the second part. And we explain at the beginning, and then those people who needed to go in a session, they would then go into a session. I think what has happened is that we have not been consistent on making it clear as to what what the expectations are on a Monday.
Okay.
Because I agree with you.
And I
My
think
my thing is that, go ahead.
no,
I'm sorry.
finish your statement, Glenn. I wasn't meaning to interrupt.
I just feel like that was one of the things that has been missing, is that we have not made it clear at the beginning of our meetings that those persons who needed the time just to go in a room, like Vicky said, and study, that's the time that they could do that. And those persons who needed somebody um, to go into a room privately, then that person then accepts, we talk about that. I
Okay.
think unfortunately we have gotten away from just clarifying what Monday consists of
And
so that people will know.
Gwen, I totally agree with you on that particular statement. What I would like to add is what we need to be doing is when we have a clear presentation topic, we get a lot of people showing up. And
Yep, they do.
what I have gathered from that is people want to either have some type of activity going on or discussion going on that they feel they can benefit from it. So a lot of them are not, um, when it's just sit in a room and do your work on your own. I think that is
Mm-hmm.
not appealing to some folks, so they're not showing up on days that we don't have presentation. So the question is, here's the question. Do we create a list of topics that will be discussed on specific Mondays?
Monday. That might
That's the
be what
question.
we need to do. Yeah.
And we publicize what the topics will be. So, in other words, it doesn't have to be a presentation, but it could be a group discussion.
Or just a discussion hall, not really study hall, but a discussion hall.
Right.
That's a good idea, Russell.
Yeah, that might be the what we need to do. Change the name and but still clarify because they're like Vicky said, and for me personally,
Mm.
that's the one thing I liked about I didn't join the one that what's his name tried to start. Oh gosh. Our buddy. When he attempted to start it, I did not join that one, but I did join the one with Dr. White. And one thing I did like, and hers was strictly study, but it gave me a time to go on there and have set aside a time for me to work.
Okay.
Like Vicky said, it gives you a time to work.
Right.
So I think but then if we, at the beginning, if we change the name, said discussion, are we still going to include the time that somebody needs just that time to work on their dissertation?
Yes, yes. That is not even a question. We're still having the study hall if you choose to use the time for study hall. All we have to
Okay.
do is just take those people who want to be in the study hall and put them in a separate
Mm-hmm.
room. Quiet as a lamb, they
Okay.
don't know what's going on. That is just whoever's the host, put them in the room and it's done. So
Okay.
we're not changing any of the format, but I think we have to
Mm-hmm.
look at it from the perspective of we could get more people involved because a lot of people are
Mm-hmm.
wanting to have some type of discussion, some type of
Yep.
something. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
basically what I'm saying is from what I have seen is anytime we put there is a topic out there, they
Mm-hmm.
show up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is part,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, as I do these types of things, I have always seen that you put a framework together, and then you always
Mm-hmm.
have to look at the framework and evolve, which is continuous improvement. I'm just giving you guys one example of how I see us using the Monday session to improve. But I don't want us to,
I think that's a great thing.
right,
Go
but
ahead.
I don't want us to get off track going down this rabbit hole when the real question that has to be addressed is where we are coming
What
to
are we
our
at?
meetings prepared and doing the work outside of the meeting. So when we get here, everybody understands what the assignment is so that the meeting could flow into what we need to do. And the main
Okay.
topic that we were talking about is, and this is what we asked the last time,
Yeah.
for everyone to come into the meeting prepared to talk about what are the needs of the organization that we will be inviting people to come in to do for us.
Okay.
And we would basically be looking for people with those skills. We're not just inviting people to come in, because when you just invite people to come in, you're going to get people. But the question is, do they have the tools and skills that you need?
Right.
And that will cause
Okay.
more trauma and more drama than we need. And that's the last thing I have energy for. I want to see if I'm bringing someone in, I know that person is going to be, they're good at writing. They can do
Mm-hmm.
communication, mass communication.
Mm-hmm.
They've done it in their professional life. That's the kind of person
Mm-hmm.
we want to be able to say, hey, can you coordinate and communicate with the editors of the GCU um, online And that's just one. But where else are they going to communicate? What other writing do they need to do? What other things they're going to need to do to communicate to the general GCU population that we're here and here are the things that we're doing?
So
That's
you're
what
saying if they don't have any skills, that we not, they can't join the group, or they can join the group.
they'll be members of the group, but they won't be members of level 2.
Right.
Okay, they'll be level 2. That's cool. Okay, I see your point.
I
Okay.
am saying level 2 is what we are saying we need help with. And we need to
Okay.
Yeah.
identify as a group what are the types of skills we need to move the group forward so that we can invite people with those skills to level 2.
So when it comes to the communication part, we and the same thing what Vicky brought up, we can have a person that's going to be responsible, say that knows how to uh, carry out, be responsible for the discussion part, the present topics for that particular for Mondays.
Okay. Yes.
That would be
So,
a person that we would. That's
right.
somebody we need.
So remember, there's a difference between our presentation topics and just our
Mm-hmm.
weekly discussions. It's two different things I'm saying there.
Okay, so what do our weekly discussions will be
We're gonna have to
pertaining
develop
to
those.
personal needs?
We have to
Personal
develop
needs.
those. We have not
Oh,
even
okay,
discussed that. That is a whole conversation by itself.
okay.
I don't have a clue what those are. I mean, it's just where this is where the leadership group makes those kinds of calls.
All right, so let me ask this question, because we're not going to always have a specific topic to discuss because of where everyone is. There are different levels, different entries, different parts that they are dealing with. Them.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we going to come up with a discussion topic when right now we seem to be having difficulty for the presentation topics?
No,
Help me understand.
we don't have a problem with the presentation topics because we have presentation
We
topics.
don't have guaranteed people for our dissertation for our presentation topics. Is my point.
We have
So how are we gonna come up with discussion topics?
what we did with the presentation topics is we had the topics, we just didn't have who the presenters were going to be. Before, a couple of years before, when we met, we decided who the presenters were going to be. But because we did
Mm-hmm.
not do that last year, I have been finding the presenters to speak on the topics.
So
So,
how are we gonna come up with discussion topics weekly when we're
well,
not having a presentation?
okay, the question is, do we want to have it weekly or do we have a discussion topic bi-weekly? We can do it that way.
Yeah, I was thinking that bi-weekly might be better. That way, it gives a chance to generate a topic twice a month and 4 times.
So all of these
Yeah,
are
bi-weekly.
conversations.
So the other question is, when we come to the presentations, we have it set up now where we have to register
Mm-hmm.
to get entry. Is it possible to add an additional question on either that presentation uh, registration? Is any other, generate a question, add a question to it that says, are there any other things that you would like to either have a presentation on or be able to discuss? I'm just trying to figure out how to move forward because we're still on the same thing, that we are trying to expand this one issue that's been going on, I feel like, for years.
Mm-hmm.
We have not moved beyond, and I'm ready to move beyond.
Right.
That would be a good idea, Vicky. Put on there, ask the participants, are there any topics or presentations you would like to see in the near future? That way, that'll take some of the pressure off our backs as far as creating discussion topics or presentations. Get feedback on that.
Yeah, all of those are good ideas. So the question is back to
Who's going to be responsible?
yes, back to what we're talking about with level 2. Now you need someone with the skills to make that happen. Makes sense to do it. Now we have to get someone with the skills to actually
Now,
implement.
who do we have in the kitty per se that we are potentially looking at to might fulfill some of these
Well,
obligations?
the conversation we need to be having is what do we need before we start talking about who, and we have not
Well,
gotten to the.
we've only talked about a couple of things: having a discussion topic, bi-weekly, weekly, what have you, during the session, having people available within the Monday night session that we can send off into a room with someone that may have a individual question that they don't want to discuss amongst the whole study hall. So what other areas are we looking at besides the discussion? Someone that we, know that can probably take someone off into a room and can answer, or help them with issues that they might be having, with the understanding that we are not their chair. All we're doing is making suggestions to them and kind of mentor or what have you, or guiding them in that direction. And whatever other section or topic that we have where we can get these people that's a part of this group, this subgroup that we want to add them to. Those are the only two things I can think right now. Someone we can send off into a room and someone that can help us with discussion topics. Right. We already talked about somebody writing. We know Belle said that she'd be willing to do some writing.
Right.
So what other section is there? What other area is there that we think we might need for this Monday group? We only meet once a week. So we can't put a whole lot on ourselves because we're only meeting once a week.
Okay, I don't know what's going to happen with some of the people that are. What's key right now is people having an understanding of the various requirements for the dissertation process. Do we have anybody that can speak about the IRB process with not necessarily total expertise, but knowledgeable about that process
this
or
is
the
the
other
other thing.
process?
I believe we have someone that can speak to that. Some of you all that have been through it. But the issue is, I feel, is some of the changes that they may have made.
Oh, yeah.
Are you all educated enough to be able to present that? I don't think so, because y'all been there, done that. Y'all ain't going back to get all that extra. Point two is this new version that they're about to bring out.
Yep.
And right now, y'all don't even have any idea of what the first 10.0 version is to kind of help people.
So Vicky,
now we're at 10.2.
Vicky, you have just brought up a perfect example of what I'm trying to communicate, and I'm not sure if I'm doing a good job of communicating it. Before we start identifying who we're going to bring on, we have got to look at our mission, our vision, and say, what are we here for? And then we've got to break that down into smaller components so that we will then have it clearly outlined in writing as to what we need to move the group to the next phase that we wanted to phase. And Vicky, in the conversation, we've been talking around it, but we just came up with about 3 things. But unless we're thinking things through, where we're actually coming to exactly what you just did, which is we need someone that understands the templates, We need
Yeah.
someone. Yeah, so this is what we need to be having the conversation about. What do we need? So we're talking around it and we're going straight to people, but I don't think we need to be going to people until we talk and flesh out what are the things we need. And
Well,
that's
that's
where we
enough. Like
stop.
because,
Go ahead,
well, like
Gwen.
Vicky said, that's. I mean, like you said, like Vicky said, that's a key thing because you're right. We are not in tune to all these changes because I think somebody said, "Well, oh, what's this? AI. That's new. The requirements for 10.2, I think that's coming about."
Yeah.
And we already have a 10.1. I'm not familiar with. So, like she said, we need to have people.
Now listen, I don't want you and Russell to get upset with me. But as long as we've had this group, and I know Russell just finished everything, now's the time that you two should take the time to get into the new version. Because moving forward, no matter who's coming, this new version is going to hit everybody. So even
Which
if we
one?
don't,
The 10.2?
10.1 and 10.2. I haven't been told I need to move to 10.2, and I don't even know what the differences are. But
Hey,
you all just
hey, Vicky,
having the knowledge of even 10.1 is what's needed.
Vicky,
So you all,
what's the
I know the templates are all the same. They got all the points. They just moved them around. But when it comes to a person having a question, then having that knowledge base to be able to guide them. Oh, so even though this section used to be here, this is what they're looking for now based on what the rubric is asking for. To just kind of simplify things, to help them understand so they can keep moving forward. But you
Yeah,
all,
but
if you all get that knowledge base, that you all will be that much more, helpful to these people that are coming in.
yeah, but we also talking about what we're like Russell said, we still need to have, it's not just us, we still need to have people who are pretty much knowledgeable about it. What the cohort group has is that they have more faculty members that are really knowledgeable about
Yeah, which is
it.
why we should take the time as our little group and be just as knowledgeable. And let's just be honest, y'all. As our group, as our ethnic group, we have to do twice as much just to get part of what they got, okay? And I'm gonna leave that right there. So you all take it as a grain of salt or whatever.
sister? That's a good point you just made. That's just the way it is. You got to do
Okay.
twice as
So
much.
so Vicky, let me answer the question that Vicky's raising. Okay. What that requires is for what Vicky is suggesting is for the senior guys, the ones that have graduated, to actually take the template and read it. That's all we need to do. Read it so we would know what the new template is saying and where they put what. That's all we need to do. It's not that challenging. That's on us. We need to be reading. So Gwen, you need to be reading. I need to be reading. Rochelle need to be reading the new template.
Yeah, and I also what you like others, I can read it, but I'm also will probably have some questions. So who do I go to?
Who do you go to?
Hmm.
Why don't y'all get together
Yeah,
as
we can get
seniors
together.
and discuss it?
We
Okay.
can
And
get
even
together.
some of these potential level 2 people that we're thinking about bringing in, take an extra day, see when people are available, and you all get together and let's just go through it together, you all.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things that is relatively straightforward. We can make that happen.
That will help you all as going through it to vet who you all might see that might be more beneficial in certain areas.
Yeah, but before we get the vetting, and I think what we want to do is we want to get to the vetting piece and choosing piece. But What are we choosing them for? Is what I'm more focused on. I want to bring us back
Yeah,
out of the vetting piece, and I want us to
Well,
focus
some of
on.
those things may come out. Some
Yeah.
of those ideas may come out as you all are going through it. Based on your experiences, some of your experiences from what you've gone through with your chairs and maybe how they've asked questions or responded to your writing or your understanding of the template, and now you all getting together and going through the new template, maybe some other things may come up as discussion topics with this group of people, you seniors, I'm calling y'all seniors, some discussions for weekly topics or whatever, just to open it up to help the juniors coming along to get a clearer understanding and maybe even be able to ask more concrete questions as to their understanding of what these new templates are looking for and asking for. And you know there's a method to the madness. They're not changing these things over for no reason. People have made comments, complaints, and concerns about the flow of stuff.
yeah.
If you all have a better grasp of what these issues might be, it's only going to be beneficial for those that are coming.
Well, then where would that be under the things that Russell was asking about? So we have the marketing, we need somebody for that. So you're saying that at this point, the three of us need to get together, look at what the new template is required, and from that, we might be able to come up with the other things that we're asking people to do. Yeah,
Well,
am I correct?
as Vicky's saying, it does not necessarily have to be us. It could be, now do we identify people who have used the different templates that understand what goes in the newer templates?
Okay.
Because we
That's
graduated under 9, but
okay.
newer folks who are graduating, they're graduating under 10 because they did not get grandfathered. So they had to go in. So that would be people that we can identify to add to the level 2 group.
Okay.
That's just another
That
suggestion.
Yeah, well, that's number
It
two.
doesn't,
That's two
yeah.
or three. That's that's down. That's on the list.
Well,
So we have the
I don't,
one.
2 or 3, what do you mean?
When you're talking about the list, we were talking about the list of things that we're looking at for people at level 2.
Okay, gotcha.
We're talking about people who were communicating. We need to get those clear. Those
Hmm.
the things that we're asking somebody to do at level 2. We talked about the articles and writing the articles and stuff. We talked about the study sessions and making sure that that's being carried out, the discussion and the presentation. No, presentation topics, not presentation topics, but discussion topics. That's 2. Then we are talking about identifying people who were knowledgeable, especially more recent graduates, about the requirements of the different areas of the new template of the two of the new templates. Am I right? Is that number 3 what we are looking at? Because we have to stay focused. The focus is what would we be looking for? Am I correct? For
Yes,
people to function at level 2.
yes, that's examples. Those are 3 examples.
Right.
I think
So
we, I
that's what
think,
we had.
I think we need to be generating more than those 3 examples. And then when we
That's
have
fine.
a number of the things that we need to do, then we need to see whether or not we need to combine some of those, or we need them to have one person doing this that piece, or if we want to have one person doing 2 of those, or we that's what. But we really need to focus on what are the things that we need to do at level 2 and what skills we need to be bringing in.
Okay, so we got 3. At least
Mhm.
we're moving forward with that because we started out not at least having. So if we have these 3, then we are now clear how we need to be looking at what's the requirements for people at level 2.
Correct.
And if we need that input from the 3 of us, Russell, Gwen, and Rochelle, by the time we have the next meeting, the 3 of us then can add to this list that we already have. I just want to make sure that we are moving. We have accomplished something at this meeting. And so basically, I think that we talked about 3 areas to look at for a person functioning at level 2. Am I correct?
Right. So what we need to be doing is when we end this meeting, we need to go back and
Mm-hmm.
ask people again. Right? This is not the work we try to
Mm-hmm.
do in a meeting. This is what causes our meetings to go very long and they're not as effective and
Right.
efficient. Where if
Right.
you spend 2 hours or 3 hours a week focused on trying to answer this question,
Yep.
what are the things that we need to do
Yeah.
to expand what we're doing and where we are? How do we improve the current program that we have? This is part of the continuous improvement process that any program should have. You build the program. After you build it, now you look at it and go, okay, now how do we improve it? So we just came up with 3 areas. What needs to happen
Right.
is if we are the senior team, we need to go away and we actually need to take some time out of our schedule and think through what are the things that we need to be doing to improve the quality of the service that we have. But we got to understand the service we have. So you've got to go back in and take a look at the documents. Remember when we create that big documents as to what the students are going to need? We get to go
Yeah.
back to
Yeah.
that document and read that document through and go, well, around this, we should be needing this, this, or this. What in here do we need to improve on? Because
Yeah.
if we don't do that, then we're just trying to come up with stuff willy nilly. We do not
Yeah.
offer the same thing that the Tuesday cohort offers. We do not offer the same thing that Dreamcatchers offers. They are all different groups doing different things. We are a different group. We're doing a different thing, and we have to remember where those documents that we built. They were built for a purpose because we were specifically building our program the way we need it. We have identified that we have a presentation once a month. That's where most of our people attend. So it tells us that
Right.
people want, when they come to us, they are engaged. So we have to do something to engage them when they come on a Monday. There's one group
Monday.
that want to be engaged, and there's another group that want to do just a study. It's easy. So we
Right.
will have a study session for those who want to just study, and then for those who want engagement, we would have another room. It's 2 rooms. So put
Yeah.
the people who want to study in a study room, put the people who want to be engaged in an engagement room, and then have the
Okay.
ones who in the engagement room talk. But I'm just getting into the details right now. But I'm just saying is this is not where we're trying to solve the whole item. I'm saying we need to be
Okay.
focused on what are the things that we need to do. And the best way to do that is go back to the document that we created. And that document said, we are going to be doing this in the academic phase. The students should be doing this topic, or they should have this grasp, or they should have. Remember when we did that? And where we created the whole list of different things that the students need? That's where we're going to get
Mm-hmm.
our ideas from.
Did I miss
Okay.
that meeting?
No, no, the documents are out there. All of those documents are out there.
And they're in the hard drive.
Hmm.
Okay.
So that's how you gather your information. That's how you look at What are we doing for our program? We're not just bringing in what somebody else is doing because they're doing something different than we are. We need to be improving our program, going back to the base of our program. So it needs to be where people are taking some time to look at our program and how do we improve our program. We have decided the next thing that we need to do is we now need to be bringing in people with specific skills to help us improve our program. And before we bring them in, we've got to decide what skills we need and what exactly what they're going to be doing when they're coming in. People don't come in to just come in. If you come in and they specifically say, I need you to do this, then when they come in, you are taking them straight to what they need to do. That's when they become engaged. If we just bring people in and we don't have it lined up as to exactly what they're doing, that's when we lose them. That's just my thoughts.
So my thing at this point, so we won't um, be here all day. Then at this point, we have decided that we have to go back and look at the documents.
Mm-hmm.
So what should we be doing? What should we do on have as our goal for Monday? Should we just continue as we have been for Monday until we have our next meeting on September the 5th?
Monday we have a
How do we?
presentation. So yes.
Okay, so oh, that takes care of that. Okay, so Monday is the presentation.
Yes. So
Okay,
let us not
so
change
then
anything until we meet in September.
September 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're saying Vicky, Carlton, myself, Russell,
Mm-hmm.
and that we don't come in here. We don't come, and I have been at fault without having the list, having read other things where we can come up with ideas as to where people are needed.
Yes.
So
And
all
what
of us
we need.
need to go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes. And where and
Write
what
it
we need.
down.
Where and what we need. So you're correct. I'm just reiterating what you're saying. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And the fact that and there won't be any excuse. You have to have it written down so we can go ahead and just have it as a discussion and not try to just go round Robin Hood barn. So where and what we need at this point, especially looking at it at level 2. And then Russell, you and I and Rochelle, I guess, will need to go back and look at what the new templates and stuff are requiring. Because then that way we will have some idea too as to what is needed and who we need to put where.
Can you guys hold on a second for me? I'll be right back.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm back. I didn't mean for you guys to stop talking.
I'm sorry. That's fine. We are recording, so we just need to go ahead and make sure everybody has it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say at this point, then that we all have to have something written by September 5th in reference to where and what we need, especially in special for level 2 and for 1, because we have to look at the leadership too and what we need to do. How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, sounds good to me as well, Vic. I mean, when
Yeah, I mean, we just need to write it down. Like you said, we don't need to spend all day going round and round. We know, and we do have 3 that we've started with. So, are we clear about those, Russell? So we can relate that to Rochelle.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, and then we work on it. I mean, and it will not be an excuse for anybody not to have something in writing. You have to have something in writing so we can move forward. Now, the topics that we've had have been excellent, and we have had some excellent speakers, and they have been to the point. Now, there was this lady that came to the cohort. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if Vicky was on there, but she was at the point. She said, I don't know what to do." She said, "You keep saying, try to push forward, try to push forward, and I have run into a roadblock
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know if I know Miss Reed, they told her she had to switch from a qualitative to quantitative. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know at this point, is that something, and it sounds from what Dr. Singh is saying, is that at this point, they're making the decision about what you do.
Okay. Okay. So
My thing of it is
We
that
don't
these
know
are
if they're making a decision or if it's based on what she wants to do her research on as to why the suggestion was made for her to switch from qual to quant.
yeah.
We can't make that a blanket statement.
So
okay, so we don't know.
no, we don't know. And I would give you a perfect. I am a perfect example of what that statement is. When I first started my process, I was hell bent on doing a quantitative dissertation. Unfortunately, I had no quantitative instrument. And because I didn't have a quantitative instrument for the phenomena, there was no way I could do a quantitative dissertation. So this is when we came up with the qualitative theoretical framework. So if a faculty member is seeing what the person wants to do and identifying that you're really looking at doing variables based on what she's saying she wants to do, then they're going to recommend that she shift from qualitative to quantitative because what she's wanting to do does not fit the qualitative model, and it needs to be something quantitative. So that's where the guidance of the faculty comes in based on what the student is saying the student wants to do.
Okay, so we do need to see in a situation like that, that needs to be clarified
Yeah,
for a lot of these students because they don't understand that.
right. And
I
that
don't know if
is
the chair is not giving that information or what's happening,
so
but that seems to be
right.
a
So
center of
so so
frustration.
so when you hear that type of thing, that is where what we do is totally different than what the other groups are doing. That is where we have that coaching session, private one-on-one. So when I start hearing those things, I can decipher what it is the student is really saying and help them to understand why the recommendation is being made and help the student become unstuck. because they're not understanding the level of what they're saying. Remember, Dr. Dooley is the one that pulled me aside and said, "Oh, buddy, oh no, what you're telling me here, yeah, this is the problem." I will always remember her. She was able to get me unstuck very quickly, quick and in a hurry, and point me in a different direction. Once she pointed me in the direction, I was off and running. So that is where someone needs to be helping the student get unstuck. That is what we do that is different. To relieve
Would
the
that be a
student.
person that we need? Would that be somebody that we need to have that kind of expertise at level 2?
But that's what I already do. That's what I do in the
Oh, okay.
one-on-one sessions.
Okay.
In the one-on-one sessions that I do, that is what
Mm-hmm.
I do with those students,
Okay.
right? I can do it simply because prior to this, I did a quantitative dissertation. So I understand when the student is talking the language as to what it is they're trying to get to, what it is they're trying to do. So I can help a student get unstuck and understand why they're having the struggles they're having. So I don't try to tell the student what they need to do, but I try to help them understand what it is that their chair is telling them. So I have to listen to what they're saying their chair is telling them, because they're getting frustrated because they're not understanding what the chair is saying. You got to break it down in plain, simple English for them in that environment, just to get them unstuck. Like
Okay.
some students will run into this problem, and this is a typical one. They want to do a quantitative dissertation, right? But their statistic skills are totally inadequate to do a quantitative dissertation. And that's another problem that a lot of students have. So if the student is wanting to do a quantitative dissertation, or the student doesn't feel comfortable with their quantitative skills, but what they're asking to do requires a quantitative dissertation, they're going to be frustrated because they don't feel comfortable about the skills they have. So there's too many variables to even try to answer that. That's why we do those in one-on-one sessions, so we're understanding exactly what variable we're looking at. So that's a service that we offer that the other folks typically don't offer. Those one-on-one sessions, that's what they're supposed to be designed for.
Okay. So to sum up everything, then that's another area. But like you say, you take that on. But
Yes,
that's another area that where we I think our group can work with.
so, and usually what I also do is, if I have someone who is needing a deeper understanding of quantitative, that's when I would probably
Mm-hmm.
call Dr. Singh or one of the quantitative guys that we have to help the student more with the quantitative piece. But all of the
So
quantitative,
would you
but all of the quantitative
go ahead?
folks that I've dealt with, right? Once we explain what we
Mm-hmm.
need, we get them unstuck. Then guess what? They go back to their chair, who is quantitative, and now they understand what they need to do, and they can work directly with the chair. So we don't have to get involved with it at that level either. Most of the times the students are struggling is because the chair is giving them direction and they're not understanding what the chair is saying. So sometimes you just
Okay.
got to translate what the chair is saying to them.
Okay. So that's another need, helping them to translate the requirements of the qualitative versus quantitative.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That is whoever is going into the room, right? In terms of the coaching sessions, right? That is what
Mm-hmm.
I do in the coaching sessions. For us to get more people to do it, it's a simple way to do that. I just need for folks to come in the room with me while I'm doing it so that you guys can be trained to do what I do.
Okay, but
That's
do we not have a person like Dr. Singh who also can do that and at level 2
Dr.
to
Singh
help you
can
out?
Dr. Singh can typically do the quantitative pieces. He's not a qualitative person.
Oh, okay.
He would not. He's not one to be able to talk to the different qualitative designs, or yeah, the qualitative designs. He's not there.
The qualitative designs, he's not, he's quantitative.
He's quantitative. Yes.
Okay, okay.
The advantage I have is
Well, that's
I can understand both.
okay. So then that's the need. We need somebody that can do the qualitative, and we need somebody that can do the quantitative response. That's a need. So anyway, the bottom line, guys, is that we have to, based on what we discussed today, which to me seems like that would probably be a four, the fourth,
Mm-hmm.
qualitative versus quantitative decisions regarding the research, that we are coming up with what it is that we need. And then we have to fit people into where we need them.
Yep.
So that's our assignment for September the 5th, is to try to culminate that as much as possible. Am I correct? Yes. Carlton, Vicky? Yes.
Yeah, you correct, Gwen.
Okay, so you want to end here, since we have had some discussion about what it is that we must identify and who is to do it. Then we just build on the 4 that we just mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
and then be ready so that we will not spend any extra time trying to figure out where we are moving. Because I think at this point we know what our assignment is, and we started doing it.
Yep.
The next one, like I said, the next meeting, the next Monday is going to be our, is that the end of the month?
Yeah, the 31st. We moved.
Okay, so that's the 31st of August. Is there another one? Is there another Monday prior to our meeting?
No, well, we have the presentation on the 24th, which is Monday, and we moved it to
Uh-huh.
Monday because the presenter that we were trying to get, he was blocked.
Mhm.
He had another commitment on the 31st. So we moved
Okay.
it. So we moved it to the 24th in order to have the presenter present to us.
Okay, so do we need to change anything for the 31st? Because let me see,
No, not
what's the following Monday to that one?
the 31st. What? So we have the 24th, we have the 31st, and then we're in September.
Okay, so the 24th, and then we got a 31st. So what's
Mhm.
supposed to happen on that Monday of the 31st? Do we need to do anything different than what we have been doing on the 31st, since we don't
No,
have a meeting on the 5th?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay, so then we'll just function as normal for the September 31st, that Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then until we actually get,
Yeah,
exactly what we want to do and how we want to do it, we're not trying to
right.
change anything.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so at this point,
We're done.
where should we end? We're done, right?
Yep. I got
Okay.
I got grading to do.
Okay, I got you. All right. Vicky, is she there or is she gone?
Have a good weekend.
Okay, all right. You know what our assignments are, right? You heard
Yes.
it. Okay. All right, guys.
All right.
Everybody have a good one.
Have a good one.
Okay. Bye-bye.